No! Yeah, Chelsea, I wouldn't worry about that zit.
I am not just Raven Baxter, Raven-Symoné shouts, cameras capturing a rare moment of vulnerability during the filming of the second season. Behind the smiles, hilarious disguises, and comical visions of That's So Raven lurked a world of secrets that most fans never discovered. While enchanting millions with their adventures, the young actors faced unimaginable pressures, corporate betrayals, and scandals that would follow them for years. A star who was secretly digitally altered to look thinner, a best friend who was fired twice, a TV brother who simply vanished, and a mother who had to choose between her career and her family. What really happened when the cameras stopped rolling? The truth is more shocking than you ever imagined. Believe it or not, the show that turned Raven-Symoné into a superstar wasn't even supposed to be hers. Originally, the series had a different name, Absolutely Psychic. And Raven, who was already a seasoned actress, wasn't auditioning for the main character. She was trying out for the role of the psychic's best friend. They were looking for a white actress for the lead role, confirms one of the executive producers. It was only after they saw Raven's audition that the entire concept of the series was rewritten. During her audition for the secondary role, something incredible happened. The creators saw that Raven had a special spark. They were so impressed with her talent and comedy skills that they decided to change everything. They discarded the original plan and built a completely new show around her, even changing the title to That's So Raven. At 15, Raven-Symoné became the first and youngest black woman to have her name in the title of a comedy series on the Disney Channel. She wasn't just the star, she was making history. That's So Raven was known for teaching important lessons between the laughs. One of the most famous episodes, True Colors, showed Raven as a talented fashion designer who dreamed of participating in a runway show but was rejected by a magazine because she wasn't as thin as the other models. Instead of giving up, Raven's character decides to walk the runway anyway, wearing her own design and showing everyone that she is beautiful, just the way she is. It was a powerful message of body positivity for millions of young fans. But what happened behind the scenes was exactly the opposite of that message. According to the book Disney High, and confirmed by people who worked on the show, something shocking was done to Raven in that very episode. Multiple sources, including producer Michael Feldman, revealed a dark secret. A Disney Channel executive ordered the visual effects team to digitally alter Raven's body in the final scenes to make her look thinner. The very episode that was supposed to celebrate her body was secretly altered because the network wasn't happy with her size. Feldman called the decision shameful and tone-deaf. Recently, Raven-Symoné confirmed this. I remember having conversations about how they would take the film and stretch it to make me look thinner. This secret betrayal was part of a much bigger struggle. The pressure to be thin started when she was only 7 years old. Adults on set would comment on her body, and her diet was strictly controlled. The body shaming was so intense that she had 2 breast reductions and liposuction before she was even 18 years old, procedures suggested by her own father. On set, everyone thought that Orlando Brown, who played Eddie Thomas, was destined for greatness. Like Raven, he was an experienced child actor before he even set foot on a Disney stage. He was funny, charming, and incredibly talented. Both Raven and Rondell Sheridan, who played her dad, said they believed Orlando would be the show's biggest breakout star. I was sure Orlando would be the guy, the one who would make it big, confessed Rondell, but that's not what happened. Shortly after That's So Raven ended in 2007, Orlando's life began to unravel. It started with an arrest for marijuana possession that year. From there, his legal troubles quickly worsened. In the following years, he was arrested for DUIs and In 2013, he was sentenced to 180 days in jail. The charges became more serious, including domestic battery for an incident with his girlfriend in the parking lot of a police station. He was also charged with drug possession, including methamphetamine. In 2022, he was arrested again for domestic violence after allegedly threatening his brother with a hammer and a knife. At one point, he was homeless, and his brother took him in so he wouldn't have to live in a shelter. Friends and family even tried to stage an intervention to get him into rehab, but he only stayed for 1 week. As his life spiraled, he began making disturbing claims online. He posted videos making strange accusations against Raven Simonet, saying she stole his phone and even claiming in a rap song that she had aborted his baby, which he later said was a metaphor. He even got a large tattoo of Raven's face on his neck and chest. Rondell Sheridan offered a heartbreaking explanation for Orlando's fall. How do you think you would turn out if you were 14 years old, given a huge amount of money, and made the father of your house, with no one to guide you? While Orlando Brown's struggles were loud and public, Anneliese van der Poel's exit from the Raven universe was much quieter, but equally shocking. For years, fans believed that the friendship between Raven and Chelsea was just as strong off-screen. But recently, Anneliese revealed a secret that changed everything. In a TikTok video, she hinted at a painful history with the franchise. Using a popular sound, she said, "If I had a nickel for every time I was asked to leave a show starring Raven, I would have 2 nickels. She then confirmed on the Wizards of Waverly podcast that she was fired from the reboot, Raven's Home. This bombshell left fans confused. Why would Chelsea be fired from a show built around her friendship with Raven? Anneliese explained that her relationship with Raven was more complicated than people knew. On the original show, they were friends. But on Raven's Home, Raven was also an executive producer. She was Anneliese's boss. A friendship can't be the same when one person signs the other's paycheck, said Anneliese. She described Raven as very distracted, having much more to do than she did. This created a distance between them that wasn't there when they were kids. Anneliese was a main character for the first 4 seasons of Raven's Home, but was let go before the 5th season. To make things even more confusing, she was later invited back for a special guest appearance, but the biggest mystery is her claim that she was also asked to leave the original That's So Raven. This is a secret she has never fully explained, leaving a shadow over one of TV's most iconic friendships. For 3 seasons, Takea Crystal Kima played Raven's mom, Tanya Baxter. Then, at the start of the 4th season, she was gone. The show explained her absence by saying Tanya had moved to England to go to law school. For over a decade, fans wondered why she really left. The truth was far more emotional and selfless than anyone imagined. Takea didn't leave because of drama or money. She left to take care of her grandmother, who had been diagnosed with Alzheimer's. As her grandmother's condition worsened, she needed full-time care. Takea's contract was up after 3 seasons, and she made the difficult decision to put her family first. She later said it was the hardest thing she ever had to do, but that she would do it again in a heartbeat. What fans never knew was how the cast and crew supported her during this difficult time. Takea revealed that her grandmother would sometimes become combative, making it hard to keep a caregiver, so she would bring her grandmother to the set with her. While Takea was filming her scenes, the mothers of Kyle Massey and Orlando Brown would sit with her grandmother in her dressing room to make sure she was safe. It was a beautiful act of kindness that showed the real family bond they had formed. Years later, the story came full circle. After 17 years away, Takea returned to play Tanya Baxter in the season 5 finale of Raven's Home. She came back for her TV husband, Victor's 60th birthday party, Seeing her back in the Baxter living room was an emotional moment for the cast and the fans, finally solving a mystery that had lasted for years. While his TV mum was dealing with a family health crisis, Kyle Massey, who played Corey Baxter, was becoming a huge star in his own right. His character was so popular that he got his own spin-off, Corey in the House. After the show ended, Kyle continued to act and even competed. On Dancing with the Stars, where he was the runner-up, he was a beloved Disney face, always smiling and making people laugh, and then he disappeared. For years, fans wondered what happened to Kyle Massey. The reason was a dark and complicated legal battle that was hidden from the public for a long time. In 2021, news broke that Kyle had been charged with a serious crime, immoral communication with a minor. He was accused of sending explicit photos and videos to a 13-year-old girl through Snapchat between 2018 and 2019. The story got even stranger when Kyle gave his side. In a rare interview, he made a shocking claim. He said that the mother of the girl who accused him had engaged in an inappropriate sexual relationship with him when he was just 15 years old. He called the lawsuit an extortion attempt and said the person who took advantage of him as a child was now trying to paint him as the predator. The legal situation became messy. A warrant was issued for his arrest after he failed to show up for a court hearing. The case's current status remains unclear, but the scandal was enough to make the once famous star retreat completely from the spotlight. After growing up in front of millions, the cast of That's So Raven had to figure out who they were when the show was over. For some, it was a chance to take control of their own stories. For others, the struggles that began on set continued to follow them. Raven Simonet has truly come into her own. After a controversial period as a co-host on the talk show The View, where she made headlines for some of her opinions, she found her footing. She's now married to Miranda Pearman-Madej, and the two host a podcast together called Tea Time with Raven and Miranda. On the podcast, she has opened up about many of the secrets from her past, taking back her own story. She has also stepped behind the camera, working as a producer and director, giving her the creative control she didn't have as a teenager. Anneliese van der Pol is also using her voice in new ways. She continues to act and sing, even making her Broadway debut as the final belle in Beauty and the Beast. Like Raven, she has started her own podcast called Big Name Beat Cheese with fellow Disney alum Christy Carlson Romano, where they talk about their experiences in Hollywood. In 2024, she got married to her husband Jono Wilson. Starting a happy new chapter in her life, Rondell Sheridan will always be America's favorite TV dad. He has continued to act and direct since his days as Victor Baxter. Recently, he faced a serious health scare when he was hospitalized for severe pancreatitis. He shared his journey with fans and started a GoFundMe to help with his medical bills. The response was overwhelming, with fans and fellow celebrities donating to help him. The paths for Orlando Brown and Kyle Massey remain uncertain. Orlando continues to have run-ins with the law and struggles with his health. Kyle Massey remains almost entirely out of the public eye, his future career unknown as his legal situation remains unresolved. Their stories serve as a sad reminder of the darker side of childhood fame. The world of That's So Raven was a place of fun, friendship, and seeing the future. But for the cast, the future was something they couldn't predict. Behind the bright lights and laugh tracks were real kids dealing with real problems, from body shaming and family illness to addiction and legal troubles. The visions on the show were just for fun, but the cast's real-life challenges were serious. Now, after all these years, their stories are finally being told, revealing a picture that is much more complicated and much more human than fans ever figured out.